What is up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 52. Joining me tonight is a Street Outlaws veteran and perennial top contender in No Prep Kings, Mr. Jeff Lutz. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a while since the last time we spoke in an interview. It's probably been close to 7, 8, 9 months, something like that.
Yeah,
But
it's
thank you for
been a
coming on,
long
sir.
time.
Appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Just glad. We're happy. Like I told you, we're excited for what you do for us, and anytime I can get on with you, I'd love to do it.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. So it looks like you're at home. Are you at home in Pennsylvania right now?
Yes, finally. It's been, everybody else is on the road. We get to come home finally. So that whole Western swing we did, my wife and I spent, 6, 7, 8 weeks in the toter home. So we couldn't get
Yeah.
here fast enough. So it's kind of nice. And with the rain delay for Friday, it's just another night to be home. It's nice to be in your own bed.
Yeah, no, I believe you, man. Let's talk about that a little bit. So we heard the news earlier today that the event's going to be pushed out a day. So you guys are going to race on Saturday and Sunday because of rain
Yep.
in the forecast for Friday. How does that affect your program? Does that matter to you?
Uh, no, it really don't matter to us. We're used to this weather. We know the air. The very first time we went to Reading with the NPK, those people come out in the pouring down rain. I was out there in the pouring down rain signing autographs, selling T-shirts. Those people came no matter what. And it'll be the same thing. We got diehard fans for No Prep Kings here in Eastern Pennsylvania, and they'll come in droves. No matter what, rain or shine, they'll be there. But it was kind of cool that they pushed it for Saturday, Sunday. So that'll be neat. The only thing that
Yeah,
sucks is driving home on Monday instead of Sunday. But hey, I'll be back home. I'll be back home Monday morning while everybody else is making the trek to US
Michigan.
131. I'll be sitting right here on my couch watching TV.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. So I'm guessing you probably made a couple licks before at Maple Grove in your
Oh,
career.
absolutely. Maple Grove's 4.5 hours from me, and that's one of the finest racetracks you can go to. So, I'm pretty fortunate. Where I live, US 40 or Dragway 42 is 2 hours from me. Summit
Oh
Race
wow.
Summit Motorsports Park is 2 hours from me, and Maple Grove's 4 hours from me. So we got a lot going on. And Columbus National Trail is 3 hours from me. So it's pretty cool to live where I live. I can go to any track I want, really
Yeah,
close.
you're like in the perfect spot. That's cool.
Yep, yep.
Cool, cool. So with the schedule moving ahead a day ahead, they also changed the times too. So it looks like it's gonna be pretty much for the most part, you guys are gonna be racing during the daytime. Do you prefer that, or would you rather race at night? Because it looks like
I
Saturday is pretty much during the day, and Sunday you guys are starting actually really early in the morning. In the morning,
um
actually.
I didn't even see that, but I like racing in the heat of the day. That levels the playing field big time, especially for a turbo car versus a blower car or pro charge car. So that don't bother me at all. We like hot and sticky.
Yeah,
We thrive on that because we just pound the boost into it and let her rip.
yeah. Well, it should be good for that this weekend. So just like I said,
Yeah.
it's been a while since we had you on, Jeff. So before we get into all the good No Prep King stuff that's going on right now, let's talk about some of the shows that have aired and you've been a part of for the last year or so on TV now.
Yep.
Let's talk about the 405 show. How did that season go for you? We saw you guys were back on kind of like daily drivers, small tire cars. How
Uh,
overall, how was that show for you?
no, I loved it. Sad to say we lost our producer Mike Hellman throughout that. Right at the end, we finished that show and went to Tulsa for NPK, and he left us a little early. So, but
Mhm.
it was hard to watch because Mike was there with us the whole time, and he was the driving force behind that show, and it was just awesome. And to go back to small tire and do a car that what I absolutely love. To get in that 57, it's got air conditioning, it's got overdrive, and it makes 2,500 horsepower. It's insane, you know.
Yeah.
And to go as fast as we were going in it is just crazy. But you know, it's sitting in the garage right now beside my lower dually, and I love every time I open the door. I opened the door tonight to mow the grass, and I just puts a smile on my face. It's just kind of it's really cool to have.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking car, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
And I don't know how much time you guys had to from when the season was over to get ready for that 405 show. Performance wise, I'm sure it didn't perform as much as you thought it was going to or wanted it to. Seemed like some of the other guys were really had a lot of power in their cars. Was there anything differently you would have done differently if you would have had a little bit more time to get ready for it?
That's what I would have done different. I wanted more time. Jeffrey built that car while I was filming the other shows.
Oh, okay.
3 months. 3 months is what we had to do that car. You know,
Wow.
from the time I bought it, took it to the painter. I bought another frame out of Detroit. I had Jeffrey go pick the frame up. He did all the modifications, sent it to powder coat. When the car got back from paint, picked the body up, put it on the new frame, and I just went from there. So I was still testing. We just got it running, drove it on the street here, loaded it up, and I went to Oklahoma, and you got to
Man.
see it firsthand. So it was, you know, when they say, "Hey, we're going to film this," you never know how much time you're going to have
Yeah.
or what's going on. I mean, just like the NPK deal, you know, that hey, we're going to skip Friday and go right Saturday, Sunday. So
Right. Yeah.
it's a TV show, and I totally get it. I've been doing it for 11 years. I totally understand the schedule because it it can either be your friend or work against you. So
Right.
if I had to do it over, I wish we had more time with that car. It could have been a lot faster, but no matter what, I still have the car, and it just puts a smile on my face. You know,
Oh yeah, it's an awesome car.
I could put my grandson in the back and roll to the store. You
Nice.
know, it's
Yeah, that's
awesome.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. How was the atmosphere? Because the 2 seasons before the 405 show was pretty much cutthroat qualifying for America's List, and you guys were not really a team. You guys were competing against each other,
Yeah.
and it was pretty
Yeah.
cutthroat. How was it to
It
compete as a team again against other teams?
it was nice because anytime we come together as a team, I mean, we can't be beat. It's just crazy, you
Yeah.
know. Everybody's helping each other, and you know, it's. I always said that when we did the street show, when we went out of town, there was nobody that could beat us because when we become a team, it's just amazing. And you know, a lot of guys they come up to me at No Prep Kings and said, "Man, I thought you guys were closer than that." You know, when we're a team, we're a team, but
Hmm.
when we're racing each other, it's cutthroat. You know, that's
Yeah.
$40,000 on the line. You know, but when we're racing as a team, it don't matter. You know, it's just it's crazy how it goes. I was blown away by how it flips. You know, from being best friends to sharing information to you know, don't tell them what I ran or you know,
Yeah.
holy shit, he's changing the motor because this one's too slow or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's cutthroat. It really is. But, you know, I wouldn't I wouldn't dream of doing it with any other guys because, you know, when all this started, it was absolutely amazing. You know, Chief had called me and said, "Hey, did you ever hear this show?" And it was just airing, and he says, "We got this stupid show. I need your help. You know, can you come out and help me?" And once I showed up, you know, Sean rolled in, put a lawn chair down, and said, "I'm gonna watch him do this." And me and Sean become best friends, and it like I said, it's been 11 years. It's just been a dream ride, you know. It's to do what you love to do every day is just crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
that guy I got into a fight with on your post the other day. I was bashing him a little bit, and I said, "You know what? You can bash me all you want, but I get paid to do what I love to do, and thanks for
That's
watching."
right.
You
Yeah, that's
know,
right, Jeff.
so
I know it's sometimes it's hard to just tell me. Trust me, I know what you mean. Like, there's times where I want to respond to every comment that I see, and it's just like most of the time I'm like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not even gonna
yeah,
get into it today. You know?
that guy poked once, and I was like, normally I don't respond because you know what, the haters are fans too, you know.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but that's just it. He caught me on an off day, and I was pumping gas. I was pumping gas, so I thought, I'm gonna reply to this idiot.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
all
Yeah.
good.
And from the outside looking in for the 405 show, it seemed like it seemed like you guys were having a lot more fun this past season. And that's, like I said, it wasn't cutthroat like it was, and it seems like you guys were working together, which you had probably hadn't done in a while, honestly.
Yeah,
Because even at No Prep Kings, it really wasn't. It's a team thing, but like you said, at the end of the day, you're racing for 40 grand, so it does get
absolutely.
cutthroat in the later rounds for sure. But it was nice to
Yep.
see everybody smiling and laughing and joking around. You hadn't seen that in a couple seasons of the 405 show.
It was good fun. When we got to cruise them and stuff, it's the way it used to be. When we started this show, um, me, Sean, Chief, and Monkey, we'd go out to dinner with the families and stuff on Friday night. That's how relaxed it was. And then,
Yeah,
the fame started coming, and then you couldn't do it as much, and then it just kind of broke apart. But um, out of everybody that I've ever been with on the show, Sean, he told me 10 years ago, he says, I could not see you for 5 years and hit it off tomorrow like we've been together the whole time. That's just how Sean is. And
yeah,
it's just made a lot of good friends over the years doing this. And the fans are just amazing. Without the fans, we wouldn't be there doing it. So
100%. Yep.
it was cool. That show was neat. I don't know that we're going to do it again. I think we're going to do a few street shows for next year, so it's not totally over. We just had a meeting with Sam. I think it was Saturday morning at No Prep Kings, and he said, we've got things in the works. So everybody says, "Oh no, it's canceled." No, it's not canceled. It's just maybe it's on hold for right now. We need to regroup and just come up with something new. And it's Sean just put something in the comments there.
Yeah. Jeff Lutz with the
I
Jeff
can't.
Lutz with the
I
heart.
What do he say?
It's Jeff Lutz. He has Jeff Lutz with a heart after it.
Yeah, he's my boy. No matter what, he's. I love Sean to death. He'll always be my friend. So,
So
but yeah.
after
So go ahead.
I'm sorry, after the 405 show, we saw Mega Cash Days on TV. Um, you guys were on small tires. Talk about that experience going out there for Mega Cash Days, and you actually had Junior's Honda. Was that a last second decision? Were you forced to do like what? How did that come about? Why did you have that car out there?
Well, we had Junior's car because they didn't want the GTO. And I told Sam, "Hey, I got Junior's Honda," and he says, "Yeah, that's great. That'd be a whole new demographic."
Mhm.
And we never the first time we got to run that car was I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, it went 770s in a quarter mile at some crazy number. It was insane with Junior driving it. We were never really after the eighth mile until we started the street show, and it we just never got to run it again. Life has taken over. Junior's got a wife and kid and house, and I take up a lot of his time with what I've got going on with the show, and it's really hard to get away with his car to go test it. So I said, "You know what, Jeffrey, let's finish your car." He wanted to take it off water, put it on alcohol, put a big single turbo on it. I said, "Absolutely, I'll take care of all that. Let's just do it." So we did it, and the car's fast, but we never got to test it. So he got the front half down, and who was a big help with helping us get that car to work was Chris Rankin. He gave us a hand uh, getting it to separate with the suspension, because Sean and Ryan and everybody was just so busy with their car. You know, we didn't have a we have no experience on a 28 tire.
Right.
So we leaned on Chris a little bit. He helped us, and Jeffrey was just getting the tune up. And you know what, that kid just blows me away. He, I kept telling him, I said, "It's a turd. It's a turd," and he gets mad. And I said, "You got something wrong." Well, then he starts swinging at it. Well, it starts hauling ass, but it's a turd out the back. So,
Yeah.
the whole time we raced that car, I mean, just watching the show, you can see I got everybody out of the hole. He just didn't get the rest of the tune-up right. So we took it somewhere. We started working on it again. So it was just neat to drive his car, and it's just with him tuning it. It's just man, it makes me so proud what he does, and he tunes my GTO. I got to
Mhm.
lean on him for everything. If we're not doing good, it's a lot of weight on his shoulders. I try to do
Yeah.
my job every time. So, but to do that with his car was cool, and the fan base of that Honda. You post a video of that Honda, you'll have 500,000 people commenting
Yeah.
on it because they just think it's just so cool, and it's really neat. It's just that's his style of car, and when he was in high school, he uh, he had one. He drove it to high school, and I kept looking at it out in the driveway, and I thought, man, that'd make a cool drag car, And I never told him. And one day we was at the shop, and I said, you know what, Jeffrey? I said we need to buy one of those Hondas and make it into a drag car. He said, well, I just sold mine. And I said, what do you mean you
Oh,
sold it? He goes, I just sold it. And I said,
man.
no shit. I said, well, you get another one. I'll build you a drag car. And goddamn, 2 days later, he had another one. And
Nice.
we built it for him, and it was neat to drive it. It was really cool. It was definitely cool.
Yeah, no, it looks like you guys had a lot of fun out there too, as well. Being on small tires. You guys have been on small tires now on the TV. You filmed a lot of small tire stuff. Do you enjoy being on small tires? Do you think it's here to stay for Street Outlaws? What is your opinion on that?
Um, is it here to stay? I would say most definitely because the cars are slower. I mean, to take the cars to where we're at on big tire on the street is just it's insane. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
people always go, "Oh, you guys can't be going that fast on the street." Shit, let me tell you, we was going 20s, teens on the street. I can vouch for that 100%.
Yeah,
And to do it on small tire, we're not that much slower, but it seems to be a little safer. So I don't
yeah.
I, I don't know. We're getting geared up with the new 57, the yellow 57, to put small tires on it. So the street
Oh,
show
okay.
will be small tire, and we will be back with the yellow 57 on small tire.
Nice. What? Yeah, I was going to ask you about that later, but what is the status of the 57 currently?
It's at the shop right now. Junior just picked it up from paint. The motor's in it. It's got a small block 496 cubic inch VED billet small block in it.
Nice.
It's going to be crazy. It'll take both big tire, small tire, but I'm real excited to put it on small tire because I think every car
Yeah.
looks sexy with a small tire. You put it low, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah, for
mean
sure.
it's definitely cool.
Cool, cool. And then the May Cash Days, like, it was kind of being sold as like the normal Street Outlaws guys versus the regular small tire guys. Um, and you guys, the Street Outlaws guys, for the most part, have kicked ass.
Oh yeah.
And did you have any doubt about that? Did you guys know, like, hey, even though some of us haven't raced on small tires like this in a long time, like it ain't gonna take
Well,
much, and we're gonna be right there.
you know the mega cash days was Ryan was in a new car. Sean Sean was doing his new Pro Charge setup on it. So we were behind the ball because you got guys like Larry Roach, Scott Taylor that are wicked fast on small tire. And,
Yeah,
we were thrown into that, and it was like, man, can we do this? Dave did really good, Sean did really good, and Ryan, I mean,
yeah,
you give Ryan 10 minutes to study on something, you're in trouble. Because you know
yeah,
what, he goes at it wholeheartedly. He doesn't skimp on nothing, and you know what, it shows in his performance. That car that car he bought is just absolutely beautiful, and it hauls ass. I
yeah. The
test a
the
lot.
competition was. Go ahead.
Yeah, I test a lot with Ryan and Sean, and there's nobody that tests more than Ryan. You know what I mean? A lot of people
Hmm.
say, oh, he's a spoiled rich kid. No, that guy busts his ass for everything he got. And when you see him out there at the racetrack, he's busting his ass. I test with him all the time. I know how much he tests, and it's way more than most people drive a damn car.
Right.
If he don't have it figured out, he's gonna figure it out, and that's just how Ryan is.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, a lot of you. It was It was surprising to me to see like Ryan, Sean, Dave, like those guys could see they were like figuring it out as the episodes went. As each round went and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that was cool to see. You guys. You guys did awesome. The competition of it, like being with the small tires definitely brings out more like there's more people that do small tire racing. The competition is definitely, better, I think, bigger. There's more competitive cars. And I think even the small tire guys that do it normally, I think they know now, like, hey, next time this happens, like we got to bring the power. Because it seemed like a lot of those guys were lacking some power. Maybe they thought the road wasn't going to be as decent as it was. But that's what it
Yeah.
seemed like. It seemed like they were just outpowered pretty much.
And the small tire guys that were invited were heavy hitters. We
Yeah,
weren't the heavy hitters, but
right.
I mean the cream rise to the top.
It did.
Sean
Yep.
Sean whoops some ass, Dave whoops some ass, and Ryan just annihilated everybody. It was cool to watch. It was really neat to do, and we filmed the after hours show. Me, Sean, and Dave all got a house together, and Ryan and Chuck got a house
Yeah.
together. So it was kind of cool. Um, it was a lot of fun to film, and we all get along great. So it's a good time. It's definitely a
Yeah,
good time.
I don't know how the ratings are for the after hour shows, but I know personally I enjoy watching those after hour shows because they're hilarious. You guys you guys crack up a lot. Looks like you guys are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, the very first we went to McAllen, Texas, and we filmed. I don't know which show we were doing,
It
America's
was
List
it
or
America's
something.
List? Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so me, Sean, and Ryan, Phantom, Jeffrey, and Javi were all in Airbnb together, and Sean got a gallon of milk, and Ryan had a gallon of milk, and Sean don't give a shit. He'll walk out there naked, open the milk, take a drink, stick it back in the fridge, put the lid on it. Well, Ryan looks in the fridge and he's like, "Which one's yours?" Sean goes, "I don't know." And he goes, Ryan's like, "You just drink out of the jug." And Sean's like, "Well, yeah, don't you?" And Ryan, so it was an absolute riot, and just funny things going on in the house. And I said to Jen, our producer, the next night, I said, "You guys are missing the best part." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "The house. The house is the best part." And
Yeah.
sure as shit, they caught on to it, and it was good. It's all good. We all have fun, and that's how the after hours deal started. Because they were missing it, and they crammed it into the last 2 or 3 days. They made us stay an extra day and film stuff at the show. But if they would have got the original stuff with Sean drinking out of the gallon of milk and walking around naked, and it was just crazy. A lot
Yeah.
of good stuff.
That's
A
good
lot of good
stuff right
stuff.
there.
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah. And then so let's switch gears here. So you guys were filming the Mega Cash Days, and then shortly after, you guys left for Australia, I believe, right?
Yes. Yes.
Talk about that time span and how you came about having your no prep kings car there. I think you were the only one who had your no prep kings. How did that all work out?
So the way that transpired, we were filming the Mega Cash Days, and Sam said, "Hey, we're gonna do this Australia deal," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." We were sitting in the house. We were filming the after hours, and we came to an agreement. I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And Sean said, "Yeah," and Ryan, it was me, Ryan, and Sean, and we were like, "Man, that'd be freaking crazy." And then Sam dropped the bomb on us that the cars have to be in California next week. And I'm like, well, I had already sent Jeffrey home with the Honda. And
Yeah.
he said, well, you can't take the Honda. He said, it's going to be small tire. I said, well, fuck it. I'm out. Don't count on me. And I
Yeah.
said, the only thing I got is the GTO, and I'm not putting small tires on it. He goes, you won't put small tires on it? I said, no, because if it goes to Australia, you're going to have me put small tires on. I'm going to go over there and be lost. And then
Hmm.
finally figure it out by the end. And by the time it gets back to the States, I'm going to be lost putting big tire back on it, and I'm going to have to race NPK. I said, absolutely not. I said, if you would like me to go, Sam, it's got to go on big tire. He said, fuck it. I'll change the format. Absolutely. Let's do it. So
Nice.
um, Jeffrey was no sooner home. I said, get the GTO ready. It's got to come back to California. So he loaded it up, put everything in a trailer, and come back to California with it. That poor kid, he just drove his ass off. He got rear-ended by somebody in a semi, smashed the
Damn.
back of the trailer. It just Mike Bowman saved him. The guy broke the back wheel off his truck. It was just a nightmare to get
Wow.
the car to the container. So, but yeah, so that's how that happened. And me, Sean, and Ryan said, absolutely, we'll go. And Sean and Ryan, their cars were already there, so they sent small
Hmm.
tire. So,
Yeah.
and that's how that transpired. And man, what a crazy time that was. It was just
Yeah.
insane.
Talk about the. Let's get into it a little bit. How was the? So you had big tires. I believe a couple other guys had their small. Well, they had big tires on maybe their street cars or whatever. How was? Go ahead.
It was me and Robin were the only two big tire cars. So you had
Okay.
Sean Swanstrom, Ryan, Stinky, and Kai on small tires.
Okay.
So me and Robin were the only two big tires, and man, we just
How
went
was the
over there.
competition? I had heard I watched a lot of the live feeds. That people were live feeding when you guys were over there. It looked like
Yeah,
there was a lot of negotiations going on during the races because they.
I love all the Australians. They're amazing, but they are about 4 or 5 years behind us in technology as far as,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
but
Yeah.
there's a few that are up to date with it, but they're not really allowed to use traction control or whatever, so it was bizarre. But there was one guy that stood out, and that was John Zappia. He was their John Force of drag racing over there,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he's calling me out, and I'm supposed to race this guy, and his car, I mean, it's as long as my living room. It's a full-blown pro mod. I mean, this thing is stretched out. And I said, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll race you, whatever we got to do. And
Hmm.
we went to Perth, and that's where he's from. And he called me out, and I said, yep. And I said, I need the hit. And I, uh, I can't remember how it exactly went. Oh, I spooled up after I lit both bulbs. Javi come up with that idea. He said, just turn both bulbs on, spool up. He can't move until you move. Dude, I busted his ass, and I busted it big time. And I felt so bad for him at the end. I said, "Are you good?" He goes, "No." He was so mad. He goes, "You didn't tell me you're going to take it." I said, "You agreed to it." So then I said, "All right, that's fine." And he wanted to do best 2 out of 3. And I'm like,
Okay.
well, you can't monopolize my time. There's a bunch of other people here that want to race me. So
Right.
we go back to the drivers' meeting, and they were asking for the world, all the drivers. And I looked at Zappy. I said, I'll run you heads up. And he goes, hell yeah. I busted his ass again. And let me tell you, I that nobody could understand how that happened. It's just crazy.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we got somebody leaked the times from the tower in
Oh.
Perth. And we were on our way to the next city, and I found out what I run, and it was a career best in that car. And I was like, damn. And I busted his ass. So it was good. It was good. We went 203 there. It was pretty good. So
Yeah. How were the tracks? Were they? were they less no prep? Were they more no prep? Like, were they more prepped? Like, how were the tracks
They
compared to the U.S.?
they were way more prepped than we're used to because I told Junior, I said, just turn it up. I mean, Jesus, this is better than the stuff we run on. So,
Yeah.
their people, the Australians are like, yeah, this is no prep. I'm like, shit, that's way too much prep, And
Yeah.
Sean and them were on small tire. Hell, they was hauling ass,
Yeah.
And it was just it was crazy. It was a good time, and we went over there and stomped around like we owned that joint. I mean, the GTO over there was on fire. It was just crazy, and
I bet.
yeah, it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. We only lost once when we were over there. Um, the strut come apart and it lost all its oil, and
Oh.
I can't remember what racetrack we were at, but it kept shaking, and the Australians got smart and they started guessing at the light. Well, I would have lost 3 times in a row if they wouldn't have guessed at the light. They red lit. It went
Oh.
out,
Okay.
shook. They red lit. I'm like, okay, I won that one. Go back out. They red lit. I shook. Well, the third time I was racing this red GTO or Monaro, and I'm like, Jeffrey, we got to figure this out. And we couldn't figure it out. I went out, shook, and I got my first loss, my one and only loss.
Hmm.
And we come back, and I had to race again that night. And I said, Jeffrey, I don't know what the hell's wrong. I jacked front up, and the strut damn near fell off the car. And I'm like, oh, shit. So we noticed all the oil leaked out. And he goes, what do you want to do? And nobody knew how much oil to put in it. I couldn't get a hold of my Penske guy. I said, fuck it, let's put a ratchet strap on it. We'll just hold it up there. And man, the next pass, it carries the wheels forever. Just hauled ass, beat the guy. So it was a lot of fun. And everybody come together as a team. And there was
Hmm.
some friendships made there that was just crazy, Swanstroms and I've always got along with Kai, but Scott Taylor and Robin Roberts and his crew, and it was just it was really neat to do because we were hesitant. Me, Sean, and Ryan were hesitant to go over there because we were going to be stuck with all these people, Disco Dean and his crew, and just the people that we don't normally associate with, even when we're at No Prep Kings. I mean, you see them in the drivers' meetings and all that stuff, but we were
Right.
stuck with them for a month, and it was a lot of fun. It was just
Yeah.
it was good stuff, man. We all become really good friends, and I'd do it again tomorrow.
Nice. I know there was a mishap with Robin Roberts' car in the container on one of the races. How
Oh,
was it? How was it racing out of a container the whole time?
I
How was that
that was
experience?
hey, that was brutal. It was so freaking hot. When we were in Perth, the very first stop, the sun felt like it was right on top of you,
Oh,
and your container, there's no windows, there's no air,
nothing.
and then we're
Yeah.
dealing with the whacked out power over there. Everything. Ryan and Robin were the only two that brought generators, or Sean did too. Like I'm borrowing power from them because the power strips that they bought for us over there wouldn't run a battery charger, let alone
Oh
fans and
wow.
everything else. Oh,
Yeah.
it was crazy, but it uh it was just being on the other side of the world. It was totally
Yeah.
totally
Part of the
everything was
experience.
upside down. And Robin's car, when we left Perth, it was unfortunate what happened. The driver fell
Hmm.
asleep, ran off the road, and the thing flipped over. And it was. I was there with Robin. They wanted me to come and look at it, and
Oh.
that was crazy, just
Yeah.
crazy. And they beat it straight. And Robin made some fast passes in that car.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was definitely crazy. I felt for him, but you know what? He made the best of it. He finished the races. He finished the trip. He didn't miss one race, so it was
Yes.
kind of
Right.
cool. He did really good. But Ryan, same thing. He crashed the very first day, after Mega Cash days. He had a bunch of weight in that car, and you could see it,
Hmm.
when it went down the racetrack, and it wasn't happy. And his second pass, unfortunately, he crashed, and he didn't miss a race either. He
No.
got that car back
Right.
together, and it's gonna be a neat show to watch. It's hard to explain everything that happened, but it was definitely neat being on the other side of the world. And I've got really good friends over there, Gup and Nikki, some of my best friends in the whole world over there, and they came out and helped us, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a guy. So I think his name was Mark. I met him in Colorado this year. He raced against you guys over in
Oh
Australia.
yeah,
He came
Mark. Yep,
over. Yeah, he
yep,
couldn't stop talking about how much fun it was, how it was hanging out with you guys. So that's good to
yep,
hear. You know.
yep. Scott Tidwell. He's been the past two races. He's from there. He was helping Ryan at 42, and
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know wherever else we were before that. I can't even remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
lot of races.
yeah, yeah. The Australians come over here. Hell, they spend a month. It's
Yeah,
it's
right.
nothing for
Yeah,
them. So it's pretty
right.
neat.
I know you guys. I saw some live feeds from Justin and stuff. What were some cool things you got to do in the downtime when you were over there in Australia?
Um, Man, we went. My friend Gup, he's got a couple yachts. We went out on the yachts and went out on a huge yacht, Sydney Harbor. We were swimming. They brought pizza out on another boat, to feed us on this boat. It was just crazy. We went on Gup's yacht. It was just a lot of fun. We got to where the hell did we go? Oh shoot, I can't remember.
Did you get to see some
Uh,
kangaroos and?
Oh, kangaroos are everywhere. They're like deer here over
Oh
there.
yeah, okay,
Oh yeah, they're a rodent. They're
yeah,
everywhere. Koala bears, they're everywhere. It's really neat. It sounds like Jurassic Park at night. The birds make the craziest noises. And the last track we were at, I can't remember the name of it, but was where the Guns N' Roses video was shot. If you ever see the video where they're sliding down the mud hills and stuff, was
oh
this
yeah,
race
yeah, yeah.
this it
That's
was
where it was
this
shot.
racetrack.
Okay.
They sold it out. 70,000 people with like 5 porta johns, no food, no water, and these
Wow.
people were stuck in the rain, in the heat, and oh shit, what was the name of it? Ah, somebody will say it, but it was neat to know that Guns N' Roses was there, and we were racing at this racetrack. It was the last one we were at, so um, and it's the one that's always on the videos and stuff. So it was pretty cool to see.
Someone
What
put
else?
Calder Park. Does that sound right?
Calder Park. That's it. That's it.
There you
Yep,
go.
that's it. So if you ever look up Calder Park, Guns N' Roses, you'll see where we
Yeah.
were. They shut the racetrack down. Like it's a big facility. It's a road course, a drag course, roundy round place out front. Apparently, they built this roundy round place with a bunch of used tires. That's all everybody kept telling me. It was filled with
Oh,
tires. Uh, um, we got to see all kinds of stuff. The kangaroos. We went to the zoo. We got to see you know just all kinds of stuff. It was really neat. Trying to
cool,
think
man.
what else.
Sounds like you had a great time. I was trying to catch all the live feeds, and I
Yeah, it
saw
was
one of
it
them. You
was
guys were on the boat at the time, and yeah,
Yep.
you guys are having a good time for
Oh
sure.
yeah, a very good time. Yep.
Let's talk about the Street Outlaws No Prep King season now that we're in the middle of it.
Yep.
We're towards just saying the last third of it. Still back to the beginning draft. So we went with a new format this year. No more team 405. Everybody's on different teams. You get drafted. You were actually drafted by a 405 guy. You were drafted by Sean in the first round. Did you expect to get? Did he tell you he was going to draft you, or was it out of the blue to you?
Well, so to back up a little bit, Dave was the People's Choice captain.
Yep.
So I fought to get Dave. I kept posting that pushing it. And Dave called me, Ryan called me, and Sean called me. And they all said, if you are there when I get my first pick, I'm picking you. And I said, okay,
Hmm.
cool, And
Yeah.
Sean actually got to pick me first, because when Disco Dean, he got first pick, Disco Dean. And he started asking me questions. I'm like, whoa. You don't even got your shit figured out. Don't I have rights in this deal? You know what I mean? So I tried pissing him off so he wouldn't pick me. And,
Nice.
I'm right at home with either one, all three, but I'm tickled to death that Sean picked me. And, you know, being on Sean's team, it's like I said, he's like one of my best friends. It just, I don't have to worry about getting traded. I could suck all year, and I know Sean would say, you'll
Yeah.
get it. You'll get it. That's just how Sean is. And,
Right.
and this year was tough for me. We struggled. We had a lot of just stupid shit happen. And, that motor that was in the GTO when we went to Australia, um, we had in the car when it got home, took it out, put a new motor in. I had some old fuel, cooked that motor, couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. Cooked two motors with the old fuel, and we were just behind the ball. And man, we started No
Hmm.
Prep Kings, and we were just sucking. And we finally get to Tulsa, and we had a new motor built, and we put a different intake on it. The intake was leaking, just all kinds of just stupid shit. So we had Dave first round Saturday morning. I said, fuck it, let's put the old Australia motor in. It had 50 some runs on it. I didn't know what the rods were going to make it or not, you know.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, we put that motor in, kicked Dave's ass, and we just kept on going. So then
Yeah.
we put the new motor back in for the rest of the Western swing, and we just sucked. The intake was leaking. We couldn't figure out what the hell was going on.
Hmm.
And I had Westside freshen up the motor that was in it from Australia. We put that thing in, and we ain't looking back. That thing is
Right.
flying. So
Yeah. You've been kicking
we're
ass the last two
yeah, we're
weeks.
good to go now. So
Um.
we've got some good times out of it.
Yeah, for sure. To go back to the draft for a little bit.
Yep.
So with the new format, we saw a lot of future guys or guys who were in futures class last year, a lot of fast guys, get put into the draft pool. We saw a bunch of them get drafted over some veterans who have been in No Prep Kings. Why do you think it happened that way? Why do you think some of the future guys did they get noticed? Like, were they really fast the year before? People thought, hey, like these guys are faster than some of these veterans, or how do you think that went down?
They if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of I don't want to say cookie cutter, but there's a lot of programs that are all the same.
Hmm.
Different looking car, but same program. Same
Yeah.
tuners. Everybody's
Yep.
got this same. So like they're just they know they're going to do well. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yep.
They can't not do well. So there was quite a few of those, and they're doing very well. And there was a few guys that didn't get picked. Look at Damon. He was one of the last picks.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to pick him, but look at him. I mean, his shit
Yeah.
flies. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big block Chevy. It flies. So
Yep.
there's a couple. There's a couple in there. And Doc, Doc was pretty upset that he didn't get picked. But you know what? His track record wasn't the greatest. But now
Hmm.
his shit's flying. So
Yep.
and Sean noticed right away and said, "Hey, we got to get him." But there's nobody left in that pool, so that's worth a shit anymore. I don't think there's anybody left in there. Oh, I'm sorry, the professor's in there. His stuff flies.
Yeah.
Randy Williams. So
Yep.
it's everybody started out slow, but there was a few that were in that pool that were, they said, well, they got this combo, they got to fly. Well,
Hmm.
that proved to be right.
Yeah.
And Paige Coughlin, she's another one. Same program, same as all the other ones. They
Yep.
it just they run good. And it it paid off for some of those captains that got to pick those guys. Dave's
Yeah.
got a good
For sure.
team. Dave
Oh
Dave
yeah.
stacked his team up good. So did Ryan.
Yep.
Ryan ended up with a really stout team. And
Yep.
you know what? Sean was he was like, "Man, I think we got a pretty good team." And we were sucking there a month ago, and I'm like, "Oh,
Hmm.
shit." And man, Sean got his stride, I got mine, Chuck got his, and B-Rad and Doc. So, I mean, we're in third place now. So, it's paid
Yeah.
off, and it's paid off big. So, it
Yeah.
was
How is the team dynamic with Sean? I'm sure Sean's such a nice guy and he's such a team player. I'm sure it's a great atmosphere with Sean. I'm sure. Does he give you guys before he makes any decisions? Does he like ask you guys like what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And
oh yeah.
how different is it to be teammates now with a couple of guys that you're not normal that usually is your competition?
You,
How's that go for you?
um, Chuck 55's been 405. I mean, that's where he's from. So, the only one that's not a 405er is B-Rad. But you know what?
Hmm.
B-Rad, have you ever seen him not make it down the racetrack?
Right?
That's why we
Yeah.
picked him. I mean, he
Yep.
is consistent. His he just got some really bad draws. He'll draw Ryan first round, or somebody,
Yeah.
Larry Axeman
Yeah.
or something. So
Right.
um, it's with Sean being the captain, it's cool because he bounces shit off me or I'll bounce shit off him. The whole time we were doing the draft, he kept asking me, "Who you think?" I said, "Man, we got to get Chuck 55." And he's like, "Hell
Hmm.
yeah!" And there was a few that we wanted that we lost, but we wanted B-Rad and Manny. Manny was another one. We knew he
Yeah.
would be fast, and unfortunately, he lost his ride. So we picked up
Yeah.
Doc, and Doc's hitting on all eight cylinders now. His shit's looking good. So, but Sean as a captain is awesome. I mean, he just he don't have no expectations out of anybody. He if he thinks you're sucking, he'll go, "Man, we probably ought to start getting our shit together." And and
Right.
and he's right. And
Yeah.
he's the same way. If he's sucking or if he does bad, he'll go, "God damn, I don't know what I did to deserve this." But look at him
Yeah.
now. I mean, he's won
Oh
two
man.
grade eights in a row and a final.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, damn, his shit's rolling. So,
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. He's whooping ass. He's never experienced that before. He's always struggled at NPK, and now he's
Hmm.
finally just whooping ass. So it's kind of cool to watch, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. Phantom, his wife. It's nice to see those guys winning because they deserve it. They put in a lot of work, and
Right.
it's just. I mean, if you look at Sean and Aaron right now, they're in their small trailer with a pickup
Yeah.
truck doing this
Yep.
shit. They're
Yep.
trucking trailers at my shop right now, and they're staying in an Airbnb in Pittsburgh, just so
Right.
they don't have to stay in the trailer. So they're
Yep.
diehard, they're ride or die, and it's it's paid off for them. I mean, I just it's awesome to see. And when I was Saturday night after the finals, he come over. He goes, "Hey man, can you come here and look at this? A goddamn wheel bearing blew on the front of this car. Like you couldn't get the nut off. It was just the bearings were gone." I'm like, "God damn, how'd you drive this thing?" So we beat the
Yeah.
wheel bearings out of it. Welded the headers all up, got them ready to go. So, and he scrubbed some new tires in on Sunday, and he said he ran really good. So,
Good.
he's ready for Maple Grove.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's so exciting to see Sean do so well.
Oh
Because
yeah,
like you said, he struggled for so long. And he's such a nice guy, and he always puts the work in. So
yep,
it's good to see him doing well. And then you obviously the last two races you are back. Seems like Jeff Lutz is back. Jeff Lutz is back. How we
yeah,
normally see it in No Prep Kings. And like you said, you guys are now in third place now for the team points. Um, Jumping from fifth place to third place, mostly
yep,
thanks to you and Sean for kicking ass the last couple of weeks. Do you
yep.
guys feel like a little turn? Do you guys think you have a legitimate shot at winning that team championship?
Absolutely, because Chuck 55's fast. Sean's fast. I'm fast. Doc's fast. B-Rad's fast. So all we got to do is just keep going rounds. I went from 21st to 14th, and now I'm sitting 11th. So in two
Hmm.
races. So
Yeah.
it's just, and Sean's up in there. What is he, fourth or fifth? I mean, he's up in there. So, and Chuck 55, I think he's either right behind me or right in front of me. So, I mean, we
Yep.
got a legit shot at this deal. And, Kai Kelly, I love him to death, but goddamn, he's single-handedly going to ruin the championship for himself if he keeps going out first round. It's just tough deals like that. It's going to take somebody that's
Yes.
at number one, and you can pass him in
Right.
no time at all. So, um, there's still some heavy hitters out there. Damon's a good one because we keep
Hmm.
we keep inching up on them, and you got Nate Saylor and Damon on the same team. So every
Yeah.
time we move forward, they're right there with us. So we're not
Right.
gaining any ground on those guys because they're just keep moving away from us. So
Yes.
yeah, I think we got a good shot at it. Um, better now than we did 2 months ago. So Maple Grove, the air is going to be good. That's where I'm used to this stuff.
Hmm.
We're going to come out
Yeah.
swinging. So, and like I said, Sean tested on Sunday. Ryan tested on Tuesday. Stinky tested. I know Swanstrom tested. They did career best. So did uh, Damon. So
Hmm.
I know what those guys are running, and we're all right there. So it's going to be a
Nice.
dogfight. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, with you turning up again now and doing well again, I kind of look back at the stats and I'm like, I feel like Jeff always does well at the end of the season, towards the end of the season. So I looked at the past season. I'm like, sure as shit. I'm like, with 5 races remaining, Jeff, you usually win one of these races coming up here. Do you feel like your car's right there that you could win a race now?
Absolutely. Nate, when I raced him in the semifinals, and my car kept bearing right out there, the wheels are in the air, and I looked over and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in front of him." So I had to lift. So
Yeah.
I think we're in good shape. I really do. I
Nice.
told him at the end. I said, "Dude, I had you," and the guy that loses always says that, but
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
there's never been a North Carolina race I haven't won. Just remember that. Did you know that?
I didn't even know that stat. Wow, no. Look at
Yeah.
that. Jeff giving me stat. That's awesome.
Yep. So yeah, I won Galat. I won Rockingham. So we're going back to Galat. So I'm pretty
Nice.
excited. Yeah. So and the second half of the season is in my air. So we're right at
Hmm.
home. So this is good for
Yeah,
me.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So that's gotta be one of your goals, huh? For the remainder of the season? Win a
Yeah.
race this year?
Yeah, I see the comments, I see the shitty people say, "Man, you got to win a race." Well, I usually win one every year.
Hmm.
So, uh,
Yeah. Yes,
and
you do.
I seen your stats. I'm five races away from or 5 round wins away from reaching 100.
Yeah.
I've won a few, so I
It's
think
pretty damn good, Jeff.
I'm pretty happy with it. Some people aren't. I don't give a shit what they say. So.
Right, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
But yeah, I look to win one here before the end of the season. I thought I was going to get it at 42, and that deal with Larry. We got greedy in Vegas. Jeffrey said, "Man, I just want to keep trying to turn it up," and we raced Larry and shook for the first time all weekend. So uh, gave him the win pretty easy for him. So that was my
Yeah,
fault.
that happens.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but we're on track, so we'll see. We just got to get good draws and stay away from each other and just do what we've been
Yeah.
doing.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, every year it's about the draws, but this year it's like you
Oh,
can
it's brutal.
first round draw's got to be the most the most excruciating draw there is, man, because there's so many fast guys. I mean,
I
at this
you
point, it doesn't
know
matter who you draw.
well, and like my strategy going into first round is I would rather draw Kai Kelly or Lizzie or Ryan or
Oh, okay.
yeah, I just don't want to run. I don't want to draw Sean or Chuck, or you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yep.
if you got a good shot at beating somebody like Ryan or Lizzie or Kai, it's first round because it's in the heat of the day, and
Mm-hmm.
they got to get their feet under them. So the
Yep.
best chance you're not gonna if you give Kai to the third round, you're not gonna beat him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yep.
he's got his feet under him and he's running hard. Same with Ryan. Ryan's a tough
Yeah.
deal. I beat Ryan at 42. Um, we were together when we left. I seen Richard's video. We were side by side for about 60 feet, and Ryan pulled me, and I had to lift because it was bearing right. And I seen Ryan's front end fall, and I stabbed it again. Because
Yeah.
normally I don't do that. I would never stab the car again out there as fast as we were going. But I seen
Yeah.
his front end fall and thought, here's my shot, And
Right. Yep.
unfortunately, he blew it up. So,
Yeah.
which gave us the round win. So, um, it's yeah, I'd like to draw those guys first round. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
get them out of the way
Yep.
early. So
Yep. That makes
that's
sense.
that's my strategy. I'd rather have them early than late.
Nice. You brought up the 5 more round wins for your career, Jeff, to get to 100, which is good enough for fifth all time. So I wanted to add a couple more to that tonight. Um, so adding up the stats, it looks like you are fourth all time in finals appearances in No Prep Kings.
Wow.
You've gone to 9 of them, which is good enough for fourth, and then you're fifth all time in wins, event wins. So like you said, you pretty much win an event every year,
Yep.
basically.
Yep. We
So top 5 in all the main categories, sir.
yeah, that's pretty cool. And I got the most winningest turbo car in
For
No
sure.
Prep
For
Kings.
sure. Yep.
I seen you say that. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Like I said, we're really happy that you do what you do because we wouldn't know that stuff. You know what I mean? Who's going to
Yeah,
sit there and
yeah.
figure that out? And it's just that's a lot of knowledge right there. And
Yeah.
you know what? I've done all this with Junior tuning the car, so it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's
It's pretty
that
cool.
is cool.
Yeah,
Yep. That
he
is a cool
does
thing
it
to say.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty proud of that.
Jeff, if you want, we'll take a couple quick
Yeah,
questions from people watching. So if you're in the chat box right now, you got a question for Jeff, post it up. Um, I'll see if we can get some here. Jeff, I wanted to ask you a question. When it comes to because you've raced in No Prep King since season 1, and that
yep,
was a long time ago, and that was a lot of less horsepower ago. And
yep.
obviously this now you see all the horsepower. We got all with the futures guys coming in. There's a lot of money now involved, like a lot of money involved in this class now. Do you think it's good for No Prep Kings if it keeps going in this
Um,
direction, or would you prefer to be more budget friendly like it was back in the day?
budget friendly is always good for everybody, but there's guys that push it and there's guys with unlimited budgets. And
Hmm.
um yeah, I think Sam ultimately wants to bring it back. He wants to rein it back, you know what I mean? Because it's just
Yeah.
stupid fast now. It's pro mod.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
it's
Yep.
it's it's I raced 25 years ago. They used to call this class Pro Street, steel
Okay.
roof and
Yeah.
quarters.
Yeah. Right.
That's
Yep.
what it was called. And now, Pro Mod is known as a carbon body, but these are Pro Mods with steel roof and quarters. So I think ultimately Sam would like to slow it down to rein it back in and get more back to grassroots style stuff. We don't want to end up being like, NHRA with top fuel and all that stuff.
Right.
It's just
Right.
he had a vision for this, and it's been great. I believed in it from day one. It's definitely well, I get to do like I said, I get to do what I love to do every day
Hmm.
for a living. I dreamed
Awesome.
about doing this 20 years ago, and here I am. I'm doing it. So it's cool. It wouldn't piss me off to rein them back a little bit. Absolutely. Slow them down.
Right. We have a bunch of questions here. I'm trying to sift through them all.
Yep.
Well, Peace wants to know if you still have Mad Max.
Absolutely. Mad Max is sitting there on the lift with a plastic cover over it.
Nice.
I got no time. I got no time to even look at it, let alone, like I said, I ran home to get to mow the grass and jump back in the rig and go to Maple Grove. So Mad Max is still in my possession. Absolutely.
Nice. Um, there's a question. So you have a big block Chevy. So Tim Menza wants to know what your opinion is on Damon's engine and all this controversy that came up between what he's running.
So the big block Chevy, like mine is legit. Like it's not I think they call it a Y block like Damon has with the skirted mains or whatever it is. Mine still has a
Yep.
fuel pump boss on the side. So that is like an original big block Chevy. Damon's, you can bolt big block Chevy heads on it. It takes a big block Chevy crank, but it's a skirted block, like an LS. So
Right.
Jim Howe's bitch about that was he called me and asked me about it. And I had called Dave. I said, "Hey, do you know what Damon's running?" I don't give a shit what he's running. I don't care. You know what I mean? Is there an advantage
Right.
to it? The smart man told me once, it was Sonny Leonard. I said, "What's the advantage to billet versus cast?" He said, "Well, billet's way easier to weld." That's all he said.
Oh,
So
yeah.
um, that's exactly what he told me. So these blocks that I have are very strong. I've made 75 pounds of boost, never heard a damn thing. And there's no advantage to what Damon has over what I have. And Jim Howe asked me, he says, "Well, why don't you have that?" Well, I couldn't afford that block 20 years ago. I'm still running the blocks I bought 20 years ago. So, you know, that's all there
Yeah,
is to it. Is there
that's
an
it.
advantage? No, no. But did Big Block Chevy ever make a skirted block like that? Absolutely not. That was Jim's bitch. But
Right.
there's nothing in the rules that say you can't have that. But
Mm-hmm.
Damon's deal is a legit big block Chevy. It's got big block Chevy heads, big block Chevy crank, you know, the whole
Mm-hmm.
deal. So his bitch was the bottom end. But
Yeah.
is there an
Yeah.
advantage to
Yeah.
that? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I would say if there was a big advantage to it, like, you would be dominating. Like it wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like you would be winning all kinds of races and you know what I mean? Then you could
Abs-
say, okay, something's wrong here, but
Absolutely. Yeah, there's
just
no
not the case.
advantage. No.
Yeah. Take one more question here. So trying to find it. Someone wants to know how your new shop is coming along.
Man. It's slow. I got to get the permits. The property's done. It's ready to go. So I got a call. You would pass out if I told you what the permit's worth on that. So we won't even get into that. It's crazy, but it's going to be next year this time I'll have my rig indoors. So that's my dream is to have the
Gotcha.
whole rig inside with the race car. So
That'd be cool. Is there
yeah.
any, Jeff, this question for me, is there any thought maybe next year or in the future at all for if No Prep Kings keeps going, if Junior is going to get involved with racing part of it?
Absolutely. He's got more cars than I do. I mean, he's got his third gen Camaro, which makes 2,000
Hmm.
horsepower. He's got the Honda. He's got a truck that's really badass. So he actually bought Monzo's old stacker from Chad at Phil's Trailer Sales. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's gearing up. Yeah, and if you follow our YouTube, we built this
Hmm.
Volvo tractor with a bed. He's going to use that. So I hope he does. I don't know how much time he'll devote to it, you know what I mean? Because he's very
Yeah.
diehard with what I do, and I don't
Oh,
know how
yeah.
much more, I don't know how much more I'm going to do this. I'll ride the No Prep Kings out until the end, the street show out till the end, and I want
Hmm.
Jeffrey to do his own thing. My wife thinks that he's a tuner, not a racer, but that kid, he can drive. I mean, he can
Yep.
drive, so he's got it, and you know I'll back him up in whatever he does. We have the truck, the trailers, the means to do it, and whatever he wants to do, and when we have time, he would definitely do it.
Cool. I can tell you, you guys make one hell of a father-son duo in No Prep
I
Kings,
told
that's for
him,
sure.
I told him let's get Mad Max out and he can run Outlaw Big Tire.
There you go. Hey, hell yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that'd be great.
that car's fast. So
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
Jeff, hey, thank you so much. I don't want to take up all your time. Thank you so much for coming on tonight interview. Like I said, it's been a long time since I had you on. I know you guys are busy as hell.
yep.
Kind of got an extra day here before this race this weekend, so that's good. But I wish you the best of luck, sir. I'm glad to see you back flying the normal Jeff Lutz. I know for
Yeah.
sure there's going to be a race you're going to win here coming to these 5 races. So I wish you the best of luck, sir. And I will see you in Michigan.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
Bye.